English in Minutes. Short English lessons for real life.
Hello, this is English in Minutes. I'm Olivia.
And I'm Rob. Welcome back, everyone. We are really glad you are here today.
Rob, let me ask you something. Has this ever happened to you? You are in a conversation in English, someone asks you a question, and your mind just goes completely blank.
Oh, Olivia, not once, not twice, more times than I can count. You open your mouth and nothing comes out. Just silence.
Exactly, and it is such an uncomfortable feeling, isn't it? You want to respond, you know you have something to say, but the words just will not come.
And then you start to panic a little, which makes it even harder to think clearly.
Which is why today's episode is so practical. We are talking about what to say in English when you do not know what to say. We're going to give you real phrases, real strategies, and some vocabulary to help you sound confident even in those tricky moments.
And we have a multiple choice question for you to think about as we go. Here it is. When you need a moment to think in English, which of these phrases is the most natural and polite to use? Option A, I have no idea. Option B, let me think about that for a moment. Option C, I do not want to answer. We'll reveal the answer later in the episode, so keep it in mind.
Now let us get into it. First, let us talk about why these moments happen. You are not alone if you struggle here. Even native speakers sometimes freeze in conversation. They need a second to gather their thoughts.
And for English learners, it happens even more often. You might understand the question perfectly, but finding the right words in another language takes a little extra time. That's completely normal.
The problem is that silence in conversation can feel very long, even when it is only 2 or 3 seconds. And so people often say something filler or something awkward just to fill the gap.
Right. And what we want to give you today are better, more natural ways to fill that gap. Phrases that actually sound like something a confident English speaker would say.
Let's start with a very useful phrase. That is a good question. Now, this phrase does 2 things. It buys you a moment to think, and it also makes the other person feel heard. It's polite and it's genuine.
Let's explain that word, genuine. It means real and sincere, not pretending, not fake. For example, you might say, his apology felt genuine. I could tell he really meant it. Genuine, a very useful word.
And using a phrase like, that is a good question, is genuine because often the question really is interesting and you do need a moment to think. You're not being dishonest, you're just being thoughtful.
Another phrase we love is let me think about that for a moment. This is honest, calm, and completely natural. It tells the other person, I'm still here, I'm listening, I just need a second.
And that pause, that short moment of silence you create on purpose, actually shows confidence. It shows that you're not rushing, you're being deliberate.
Let's explain that word, deliberate. It means done on purpose, carefully and intentionally, not accidental. For example, she made a deliberate choice to speak slowly so everyone could follow. Deliberate. It's a powerful word because it suggests control.
When you pause deliberately, you are in control of the conversation. You're not panicking, you're thinking, and people respect that.
Now here's something interesting. Research in communication studies has shown that speakers who pause before answering are often rated as more intelligent and more confident by listeners. So the pause is not a weakness, it's actually a strength.
That really changes the way you think about silence, doesn't it? We often feel like we need to fill every second, but a well-placed pause can actually say, I am someone who thinks before I speak.
Now, let's look at a few more phrases. What about when you genuinely do not know the answer to something? Maybe someone asks for a fact you're not sure about.
In that case, you can say, I'm not entirely sure, but I think. This phrase is brilliant because it's honest without being abrupt.
Let's explain that word, abrupt. It means sudden and a little rude, like stopping something too quickly without warning. For example, the conversation ended so abruptly that nobody had a chance to say goodbye. Abrupt, the opposite of smooth and polite.
So instead of just saying, I don't know, and leaving the other person with nothing, you offer your best thought. You stay in the conversation, you remain engaged.
Let's explain that word, engaged. In the context of conversation, engaged means actively paying attention and participating. You're not distracted, you're present. For example, the teacher was impressed because the students were so engaged during the discussion. Engaged.
Being engaged matters so much in conversation. When people feel like you are truly listening, they are patient. They give you the space you need to find your words.
Here's another scenario. Someone says something and you're not quite sure you understood it correctly. What do you say?
You can say, "Could you clarify what you mean by that?" This is polite, it's professional, and it buys you more time while also showing genuine interest.
Let's explain that word, clarify. It means to make something easier to understand, to explain it more clearly. For example, the manager asked the team to clarify the steps in the plan before they moved forward. Clarify. Very useful in work situations, in class, and in everyday life.
And asking for clarification is never something to be embarrassed about. In fact, it shows that you care about understanding correctly. That's a sign of a good communicator.
I wish more people asked for clarification. So many misunderstandings happen just because someone was too shy to ask.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about something a little different. Sometimes you're in a conversation and you simply need to redirect. Maybe the question is too personal. Maybe you're not ready to answer yet.
In those moments, you can use a phrase like, "That's something I need to think more about," or "I'd rather come back to that one if that's okay." These phrases are tactful.
Let's explain that word, tactful. It means saying something in a way that is kind and considerate so that you don't upset or offend the other person. For example, she was very tactful when she told him his presentation needed more work. She was honest but kind.
Tactful. It's one of the most important social skills in any language.
And here's our reflective question for you. Think about a real situation where you didn't know what to say in English. What did you do? Did you freeze? Did you use a filler word? Now think about which of the phrases we have discussed today you could have used instead.
That kind of reflection is how real learning happens. You connect the language to your real life.
Now let us go back to our multiple choice question. When you need a moment to think in English, which phrase is the most natural and polite? Option A was, "I have no idea." Option B was, "Let me think about that for a moment." Option C was, "I do not want to answer."
And the answer is option B. Let me think about that for a moment. It's calm, it's polite, and it keeps the conversation open. Option A can sound a little dismissive, and option C, well, that would certainly end the conversation very quickly.
Very quickly indeed. Now let's do our vocabulary recap. We covered 6 wonderful words today. Let's go through them together.
The first word was genuine. It means real and sincere. His apology felt genuine.
The second word was deliberate, done on purpose, with intention and care. She made a deliberate choice to speak slowly.
The third was abrupt, sudden and a little rude, without warning. The conversation ended so abruptly.
The fourth was engaged, actively paying attention and participating. The students were so engaged during the discussion.
The fifth was clarify, to make something easier to understand. The manager asked the team to clarify the steps. Clarify.
And the sixth was tactful, kind and considerate in the way you speak. She was very tactful when giving feedback.
6 words, 6 tools. Add them to your English and you won't only sound more natural, you'll feel more confident.
And remember, not knowing what to say is not a failure. It's simply a moment, and now you have the words to fill that moment with grace.
Thank you so much for listening to English in Minutes. Keep learning, keep speaking, and we'll see you in the next episode.